Okay, welcome to Andrea's mother's single wide. Alright, trying to get an angle here because for some reason the sun's in the way. So you can be able to see it. Okay. Alright, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, so it's not the best in the world, but I wanted to do this video before anything got into the unit. This is a custom built log cabin single wide, and it was built in 2016, and it's been sitting up in Dillon, South Carolina since then. Dillon is about an hour's north from where we are, and it was moved yesterday and set up. All this was done in one day. I'm gonna have an entire video series on the entire setup process, so I won't get into that too much, but it's fairly simple design. A little mound of dirt right there is the septic tank. The ground is so flat here, DHEC requires that the drain field, that the lines be at a certain depth, so the run to the drain field is pretty long. So the top of the septic tank's actually about a foot out of the ground. So we have to, they had to just mound dirt up over it so you don't see the septic tank itself. So here's the rear door that goes into the bedroom. We'll look at that in a minute. And you have a nice Mitsubishi system for the HVAC. But this was designed to be a park model, or which is designed under the RV code, which is different than our house. Our house is a double wide manufactured home that's designed under the HUD code. And so I'm walking around here for a second to show you the little outlet thing here. That was the plug, so if you're in like an RV park or something, you would plug that into the RV system, and then you would also have your water and sewer tie-in. Since this is now on a permanent foundation, we have permanent electrical meter over here. This is going to get inspected this morning, and then if it passes inspection, we get a code to take to the electric company, and then they will come out and run from the electric line, which is right there, over to the meter. The contractors don't do that. The electric people do that. All the contractors do is they get the meters ready. Okay, so that's the electric cable that was the plug-in. So when she was up in Dillon, that's what was used for the electric into her house. This is a little screen porch area here. It's got a little ceiling fan. All right, I'm gonna zoom out all the way. So I'm on wide zoom because this place, you know, it's a tiny house, so it's not that big. But the screen porch is actually pretty decent size. There's a rocker that goes out here, plus some other stuff. And now let's go in. Now this, when I say this is a log cabin home, these are actually wood walls. The exterior walls have insulation in them. Don't exactly know how, but they do. And if you look right there, you see the stuff right here. It actually, and it's in boating terms, it's called chinking. I think it's what it's called, but it's where the wood expands and contracts over time, and you got to fill the holes. Well, since this house is an actual log cabin, you have to do that too. So one thing that Andrea's mother's going to do before she fills it back up is she's going to do some chinking while it's empty, because it'd be a lot easier that way. What I'm doing now is I'm showing the roof, which is a vaulted roof, and this is the living area right here, where if you saw on the outside there's two little windows. The TV obviously goes right here. On the back is a couch, and we were actually able to, the house was able to be moved with this couch in here, because trying to get the couch out the front door and the screen door was going to be a pain, to say the least, because it's a sleeper couch. So they were able to move the house with this in here. So that's why that's in here. And then you get your nice kitchen area. That's for the microwave, which is in our house right now. Then you get gas stove, you got the little dishwasher, the sink, got cabinets over here. You have space above the cabinets that you can put stuff in. And then, of course, you get the refrigerator over here. Then this is the dining area. I guess they marked down with tape what the actual dining area was. I've never seen that before, but of course, I've never seen this place empty. And then coming over here, you get your washer and your dryer on this side. And then, let me come back out a little bit. Then you get your shower over here. Now, in between here is a pocket door. So you can, all right, there you go. So you can close this off if you need to. And there's a pocket door going into the bedroom, and then a pocket door going into the bathroom. The bathroom's on the other side of this little corridor area. And there's a medicine cabinet that I built a couple years ago that goes here. So those are the hooks for the medicine cabinet. The medicine cabinet obviously was not attached, so it got taken down and is sitting in our house right now. The color of the medicine cabinet is pretty much this color right here, because that's what Andrea's mother wanted. And then you got the little window in the bathroom, and you got your toilet. In the corner of the kitchen area, there's no cabinet there. And one thing that they wanted to do is have a little cubby hole. And so that's behind in the corner cabinet area of the kitchen. And one thing about tiny homes is you try to utilize every little space you can. So they wanted that little access door there so they could fill it full of stuff. The electric panel is right here. The inspector requires the panel door to be off for the inspection. So when you saw the panel door right there and you saw the panel open, that's what it's for. As soon as the inspector comes through and passes, then they'll put the panel door back on. But normally it looks like this. So unless you knew it was there, you just thought it was like a cabinet or something. And then going into the bedroom area, this is what we call a cozy bedroom. This is either a full-size bed or it's a shortened queen bed. The difference between a shortened queen bed and a full-size bed is a full-size bed is 4.5 feet wide and 75 inches deep, where a shortened queen is also 75 inches deep and it's 5 feet wide or 60 inches wide. And so it's basically, it just comes out to be 6 inches wider, where a regular queen size bed is 6 inches wider and 5 inches deeper. But as you can see in this case, you want as much room as possible. So they wanted the width of the queen, but they wanted the depth of a full or a regular twin. And so evidently in the RV worlds and stuff where space is at a premium, you're able to get a bed like that, so that's what they got. And then of course in the bedroom here is full of cabinets. So you got shelves over there, and then you got a big wardrobe situation over here, and then of course you got enough room for storage above. All right, let me zoom around here, and there's one of the things for the Mitsubishi unit. The compressor is outside the back, and so you have that here, and then you got the other one, which is over there. So there's no duct work. It's a ductless system, and it's a 2-zone system, where the Mitsubishi ductless systems and ones that are similar to it can be able to have, I think, up to 4 zones. You can get them up to 4 zones. So you could actually do like a small house and have it be completely ductless. So I think that's about it for the tiny home. Like I said, this was built in 2016 and it's 2023 now. And as you can see, this thing is still in like optimal condition. There's very little amount of area that you could actually see that it's actually this old. And so this is definitely one of a kind. Now, Andrea's mother and her father lived in this. They sold their house in 2004, 2005, I can't remember. They bought an RV and actually lived out of their RV. They traveled across the country for like 10 years. And then in like 2015, they said, I'm getting too old for this. And they parked the RV out in Arizona, where it's been since then. And they bought this on the East Coast because they have 2 daughters. Andrea, which is my wife, which lives here. And then Andrea's sister, which lives out west. So they could, originally they had this, they had the RV, and then they had a boat up on Lake Erie. So they would spend the summers on Lake Erie. They'd spend the spring and fall here, and they spend the winter out in Arizona. And that's what they did from 2016 until 2021. And they loved it. Now, for a normal person, these tiny homes are great, but I don't know if I could live in something like this. It's just too small. But some people don't need a lot of space. Or let's say you had property that was like in the mountains or somewhere, and you just come to it every once in a while. This would be perfect for something like that. You know, a getaway property that you go for like a week at a time. That would be perfect. But I don't know if I could live in one of these things on a permanent basis. So going back outside, that, you know, there's our house over there. There's the well. When they did the setup yesterday, they tapped onto our well. So her house also has water from our well. Our well goes down 246 or 248 feet. I can't remember. But, and then that's the road that we live on right here. But let me swing around one more time. But yeah, that's Andrea's mother's single wide. All right, I don't know if the sun, yeah. Hold on a second. There we go. I got on the other side where the sun wasn't blinding everybody. It was blinding me, so I know it was probably blinding in the video too. But the reason why these panels are open right there is that you can see it in the front here. Let me go down. All right, you see the plastic underneath that black plastic is a foundation pad, and then the way that these are done, and our house is done the same way, is they take dry stack CMU block, stack it up, and that's what the house sits on. And then because we're in a hurricane area, it needs to get strapped down. So there's a anchoring rod that goes about 3 or 4 feet into the ground, and then that metal strap, in this case, goes around the main beam and straps into it. And that is hurricane compliant. So like in the case of our house, it's called Wind Zone 2 compliant, and that is what passes in Horry County. Everything in Horry County, they don't care if you're right on the ocean or if you're all the way next to a neighboring county inland, everything is considered the same for hurricane protection, which it kind of sucks for us because we're like 30 miles from the ocean. But I can understand from their standpoint, it's just one standard and just everybody does it. So when the inspector comes out, he wants to see these straps. He wants to see how they're installed and that they're installed correctly. So like here's the ones on the back here. And so that's what he wants to do. He wants to see every single one of these straps. And if he's satisfied with the straps, then he can check that off on his inspection list. So I can't remember if it was built with the gutters or they added the gutters on, but it definitely obviously has gutters and downspouts. The gutters actually stayed on and went down the road. The downspouts obviously were taken off and put back on yesterday. That's on our list, is to put gutters on our house, because ours did not come with gutters. Ours, in case you're curious, it's a Buccaneer Home Jefferson model, which is a standard 3-bedroom 2-bath. I got videos on that if you want to look and check that out. Ours was built last year in 2022, and so that's the Rinnai system right here. It's either Rinnai or it's one of them that's similar to Rinnai, but it's the instant gas hot water system, so there's no actual tank. And then you have the gas tanks right there. At some point we might have gas on the property, and if we do, those will get replaced and she'll just tie into us. So that's it. I lovingly call this the postage stamp because it's less than 400 square feet, but this is what she likes. This is what she loves, is small living like this. So hopefully at some point, I forget where this was actually made, because otherwise I would have said where it was made, so I apologize for that. But if you type in like log cabin tiny home or log cabin park model, then you should be able to find either it or something similar to that.